This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Yeah. So in the last class, we are seeing the record ID. So which will be a 15 characters unique record ID. So in today's class, the first part will see the deletion part, deletion of your records. So deletion of your record in the sense of whenever if you take any record, account or contact or opportunity or campaigns or leads, any record that you had created or that you create in the future. So once any customer, okay, if the SLA period is expired, if the service level agreement is expired, or if the contract is expired, or if the active becomes inactive record, so you have to delete those inactive customers, inactive records. So I'll randomly take any one of the record. Okay, so this is the record. This is the record, so which is the Capgemini solutions. So now here you can see that there is a delete button. So click on the delete. Are you sure? Yes. So, but before I delete the record, let me copy the entire record ID, the entire link of the record ID. Okay, so now I will delete this. Click on delete. Are you sure? Yes. So once the record is deleted, like how it acts in your system, so any deleted record will go to the recycle bin. Recycle bin. Okay, and here comes your first certification question. If you're planning to take admin certification, definitely this question will come. Okay, the question is, any deleted record will be in recycle bin for the maximum of 15 days from the time of deletion. So from the time of deletion, any deleted record will be in the recycle bin and will store in the recycle bin for the maximum of 15 days. Okay, and if you want to restore this record, if you want to restore this record back to your object, you can restore the record anytime before the 15 days of deletion. From the time of deletion, after 15 days, what will happen? After 15 days of deletion, this record, what are the records that you had deleted, it will be permanently deleted from the database. Okay, so if you want to restore any record, so you can restore it only within the 15 days of from the time of deletion. After 15 days, automatically the record will be permanently deleted. After it is permanently deleted, you cannot revert the record at any cost. And that is why here we have the deletion date. From the date of deletion plus 15 days, the record will be in the recycle bin only. It will not go anywhere. Okay, so now we had deleted this record. Now let me try to access this record with the entire link. Now we'll see what will happen. Copy paste. What it says, the record which you're trying to access is the record got deleted. And here you can see the deleted data will store in the recycle bin for only 15 days, for the maximum 15 days. Okay, so this is the concept of your deletion part. Okay, next concept. So next concept. So in the last class we have discussed there are three types of pages: a detail page, edit page, and list view page. So what is a list view page? And this is called your list view page. So where you can see the list of your records under a single object, that is called your list view page. So now here, when you go to the real time, so like I told you in the last class, you will be seeing millions of records. Okay, in my current project we have 10 million plus records. So now the requirement is all these 10 million records, millions of records, which we have in the recycle bin, sorry, which we have in the database. So now we want to categorize these records basis on any requirement. For example, I want to categorize all the records and I want to keep it into one of the category where account record billing country satisfies India. India. So out of all the 10 million records, let's suppose we have 50,000 records where it satisfies billing country equals to India. So whenever I select this particular category from the list view, so now we are going to see the concept called list view. So where can we find the list view? These are all called your different types of list views. So what are these list views? We will see it now. So once you select a specified list view, for example, we have something called India list view. The moment you select it, so you will get all the records where satisfies the billing country equals to India. So based on any of these fields, you can use these fields as a criteria, as a condition, as a filter within your list view, and you can extract the specified records. Okay. Now let's suppose we have an example like we have some 10 users who creates the different records. Okay. Now we have user A, user B, and user C. So now here I need a one category like user A records, user B records, and user C records. The moment I select user A records, so now I should get all the account records where account owner of the account equals to user A. Then from this drop down, if I select user B, then it should get all the records where account owner equals to user B. For example, industry. So here we have different types of industries. Now I'll take an example of industry equals to healthcare. So out of all the millions of records, now let's suppose we have some 5,000 records where industry equals to healthcare. So here I want to create one kind of list view called healthcare accounts. So if I select healthcare accounts, all healthcare related accounts should come. Okay. For example, we'll take SLA expiration date. So I want to know how many number of accounts that are going to expire within this month, by end of this month. Okay. So SLA expires by January. This is one of the list which I'll create. SLA expires by January. Then it should get all the accounts which is expired by this month end. Then accordingly, I can take a decision with the customers. Okay, like any of your criteria. So now if you go to your account object, and here you can see there are some default list views. All accounts, my accounts, new last week, new this week, and recently viewed accounts. There are so many things. So let's select all accounts. The moment as you select all accounts and click on go here, then you will get all the account records within your database. Okay, let's select all the records. Then you get all the account records which are there in your database. Then we have something called my accounts. My accounts means where I am the owner of. Out of all the millions of records which we have in the real time, so maybe hardly 1,000 or 5,000 records where I will be the owner of. If I select my accounts, only the accounts where I am the owner of should display under this list. Next, new last week. If I select new last week, the records which we created in the last week. For each and every list view in the backend, they will be having its own criteria. So now here you can see there is a new last week. New last week means the records which we created in the last week, which we created. Created means there should have been one of the filter criteria where it says created date equals to last week, something kind of this. So now here you can see the edit link. If you click on the edit, so where you can see the criteria of this particular new last week list view. Click on edit, and here it's something, it says created date equals to last week. Okay. And again, so next one, new this week. The moment I select new this week, so within this week, these many number of records which we have created from the time of we registered our access. Okay. And finally we have recently viewed accounts. Recently viewed accounts means the list of all the records which we have recently viewed. So like this, how we have the standard views, you can also create our own custom listings. Like all accounts India, so where I want to fetch all the India records, where billing country equals India, and come into one of the listing. So let's create some few list views. Click on the create new view. So now I'm going to create our own custom list view. So give the view name. View name is all accounts hyphen India. So I want to get all the accounts, but it should satisfy the condition as country equals to India. So click on the tab. The moment you click on the tab, whatever we have the view name, which is called the label name, the same label name will be appended to your unique name. For each and every component, for each and every I can say for each and every field or anything that you create in the Salesforce, there will be a unique name. Okay, all the spaces will be appended with underscores, and also all the special characters will be appended with underscores. So what is the purpose of this unique name? So whenever if you want to do programming from your Apex or Visual Force concepts, whenever if you want to do programming on this particular list view, you always have to call the unique name, but not the label name. Okay, and here you can see the unique name is used by the API. API means application programming interface. This unique name will be used by the application programming interface. So where you can do the programming part. The next part, specify the filter criteria. Now whenever you select this particular list view, so whether all the accounts all the accounts of your entire application should come under this list view, or only where you are the owner of, where I am the owner of. So when I create the same kind of list view in the real time, there might be some thousands of records where accounts equals to satisfying billing country equals to India. But I'm not concerned about other sales users records. I'm only concerned about my records where I am the owner of. So that is why in this case, instead of I select all accounts in real time, I can select my personal accounts where I am the owner of. Okay, I'll select all accounts. So now here we have to mention the filter criteria. So what is the filter criteria? So now the criteria is, so wherever the billing country equals to India. Okay, so wherever, so this is your field, so where you can see the list of all the fields. These are the list of all the fields on your account object, and one of the field is billing country. So billing country. The next one is operator, so where you can give equals, contains, does not, contains, less than, greater than, all these things. Equals, give the value. The value is India. So whenever the country equals to India, so fetch all the records and put it into this particular list view. So if you want to add more and more conditions, you can add more and more conditions. So like country should be India, and the city, billing city should be Hyderabad, for example. Okay, for each and every record, so it has to satisfy both the conditions, condition 1 and condition 2. It should be India, and also it should be city equals to Hyderabad. Okay, only then fall under this particular list. So now I'll remove the second condition. So like this, you can add as many conditions as you can. Okay, so whenever you practice, so create as many records as you can. Okay, and with the different annual revenue values, and create a list view where annual revenue falls between 10,000, okay, to 50,000. Okay, so create as many number of account records as you can. So different records give different annual revenues. Okay, so some between 10 to 50,000, some are more than 50, some are less than 50, like this. Next, create a list view, something like annual revenue between 10 to $50,000. So then your criteria should be where annual revenue greater than 10,000 and less than 50,000. Okay, now, so now here I have taken only the condition as country equals to India. Next, select the fields to display. So whenever I select this particular list view from the drop down, from this drop down, so whenever I select this all accounts hyphen India list view, What are all the list of all the fields to be displayed on the page? What are all the list of all the fields to be displayed on the page? So currently here by default it has taken account name, site, state, phone, type, owner, alias. So I don't want to have all these things. So I will remove all these things. Click on the remove. So now here I'll add, let's suppose I'll add country, city, website, and number of employees. So whenever I select this particular list view, only these 5 selected fields should be visible on the page. And finally, restriction visibility. So if you want to restrict, if you want to make this list view as a private one, you can make it. So which is called your restriction visibility. So whether this particular list view should be visible only to me or visible to all users. If you are an end user in the real time, so the 90% of the 90% of the cases, so wherever you create a list view, it will be only, you will make it only visible to you only, but not to anybody else. If you are administrator or if you are a developer, then if you are creating an application on behalf of the end users, then whatever the list views that you create, that will also be on behalf of all the users. So whether this particular list view should be visible to all the users or should be visible only to me. Okay, I'll select all of this. So we have something called group of users. So where we call it as a public groups. So that public groups concept that we'll see in our future classes. So now currently I'm making this visible to all the users, but in this single instance, I am the only user. There is no one else in this instance. So click on save. So now the moment I click on the save, so click on accounts, like how we have the different types of list views. We also have all accounts India. Select all accounts India and click on go. And here you can see there are 6 records. There are 6 records which satisfies, here you can see, which satisfies billing country equals to India. Okay. So I'll create another list view quickly. Something called all accounts hyphen USA. So where billing country equals to, it could be USA or US. So when I keep comma, so it will take it as a or operator. It will be either USA or US. So now add the list of all the fields that you want to add. Let's suppose only the city and country. Visible to all the users. Click on save. And now here, whenever I select all accounts hyphen India, I got 6 records and USA 4 records like this. So like this, out of all the millions of records which you have in your real time, you can actually categorize the records. You can categorize the records based on your requirement. Understood? Any questions?
No, Pradeep, we are good.
So the next concept we'll see the merge concept. Merge. So what is the definition of a merge in general terms? So merge means where you can combine. So where you can combine. So combining is nothing but merge. So merge accounts means combining the accounts. So where you can combine 2 or more records which is having a similar name and you can make it into a one single record. Okay, where you can make it into a one single record. So where you can combine, where you can merge multiple records and you can make it into a one single record. So now here I'll take an example. I'll create one of the records called Birlasoft. Okay, so let's suppose this is one of my customer. So now here I'll populate few fields. Okay, like annual revenue, industry, type, phone number, fax, website, ownership, number of employees, that's it. So I have created one of the record called Birlasoft, and it has only having these many field values. Okay, click on save. So now I'll create another record with the same name but different information. Birlasoft. I'll not populate anything from here. I'll move on to the next section, which is a address information. Okay. Okay. So now click on save. Okay, so now we have one of the Birlasoft records where it is having the phone, fax, website, and other details. And we have another record with the same name called Birlasoft, but it is having the some other details compared with the first record. Okay, so now here the requirement is, here we have two different records with the same customer name. So now after we have realized that there are two different records with the same customer name, but these two records are actually the same customer. They are not duplicated, but it is actually the same customer. So let's suppose you have created a Birlasoft record with the information, billing address and shipping address. So I have created the same customer Birlasoft with the details like phone, fax, website, and many more. Now, so now after we have realized there are two different records with the same name, instead of deleting one of the record, so instead of deleting one of the record, we will merge both the records. We will merge both the records and we'll make it into a single record. Okay. So now we'll see how to merge these two records into one. So whenever you are merging two different records, one of the record you have to select it as a master record. One will be a master, and the second will be a let's suppose secondary record. So whatever the master record that you are going to take, that record will exist in the database. The secondary record will get merged into the primary record. Okay, let's suppose this is your primary, the first tab, the secondary tab is the secondary. So then what will happen? The second record will get merged into the first record, secondary will get merged into the primary, and secondary record will be deleted from the instance. Okay, now we'll see how to do this. So click on your accounts, and under your list view page, scroll down where you can see the tools. Under the tools where you can see the merge accounts. Click on merge accounts, and here you can merge two or more records which is having the similar name. So I cannot merge a record with the name TCS into another record with the name Capgemini. So TCS is a different customer, Capgemini is a different customer. Whenever you are merging, it should have a similar name. For example, I'll search Reliance. When I search with Reliance, and we got these many records with the similar name. Okay, so that is very important. So whenever you are merging, so there should be a similar name in that. So now here I'll search for what is the name? Click on find accounts. So when you click on find accounts, here you got two different records. So select these two, click on next. So this is the page, so where you can do the merging process. The first column, so these are all your different account fields: type, industry, revenue, phone, fax, website. These are all your different fields. And here the first column is one of your Birlasoft record, and the second column is another Birlasoft record. And here you can see these are all your different radio buttons. So whenever you merge the first into the second or second into the first, okay. So whenever you merge the first into the second or second into the first, we have to select the value for each and every field. Now for example, now let's merge the second record into the first record. And here you can see there is a master record. Select the first one or the second one. So I'll select the first one is a master record. So now account owner for both the records it is the name, account name for both the records it is the name. Coming to the type, the first record has prospect, second record it has a null value. Industry annual revenue, the first record it has some value, second record it has a blank value. So whenever you merge, you can continue with the prospect value, or if you want to get a null value, select the second radio buttons. So whenever both the records got merged, the type, industry and annual revenue, these three fields, it will get the values from the second record. But second record it has a null value, the same null value will be shown under your first record. Okay. And again phone, fax, website, the first record. But coming to billing address, see, billing and shipping address, on the second record it has some value. So it is taking the second record's values. So once you select where you want to retain the values, select the values that you want to retain in the merge records. So once you selected it, then click on merge. And once you click on the merge, the records will be merged into one record using the selected values, and merging cannot be undone. So once the merging is completed, you cannot revert it back. Click on proceed. Okay, so now we have merged both the records and we have got only one single record. And go back to the previous tabs and refresh the page. And what happened to the second record? It got deleted. It got deleted and it will be in recyclable for 15 days. And now if you open the existing record, so now the existing record, it has phone, fax, website, and also it has the billing address which it got from the second record. So which is called your merged account to records. Understood? So this is called your accounts. So how to create your accounts, what are the different types of pages we have, how to merge your accounts, how to create the list views, what is the record ID, so what is the inline editing, what are the different types of pages we have, and what is the limitation on the deletion part, what is the recycle bin, and how to create the self relationship by from the parent to child. So all these concepts we have seen under your accounts. Okay. So now moving on to the next object called contacts. So what is a contact? So contact is nothing but the point of contacts, the individuals or employees who are working under the company. So now if the Birlasoft is my customer, now the point of contacts with whom that I want to contact, with whom I want to communicate, so those persons are called contacts. Okay. So now here I'll take an example. Let's take any record, any random record. So I'll take an example. So I'll take this one, Technosoft Private Limited. So now this Technosoft Private Limited is my company's customer. So what is my company name? Yesterday we have seen my company is ABCD and Technosoft Private Limited is my customer. So now under my customer, scroll a little down where you can see contacts section. So now here from this page, from this section, we can create n number of contacts and all those contacts will be linked to this Technosoft company. Okay. So now click on the new contact. Click on the new contact. The moment you click on the new contact, there are some of the fields like phone number, fax number, and mailing country, mailing state, mailing city, mailing street, and also the account name. So these are all the fields which is auto populated from your account level. So whatever the account has a phone number, the same will be copied to the contact phone number. Whatever the account has a fax number, the same is copied over here also. Whatever your account is having the address, billing address, the same is copied to the contact mailing address. Okay, so whenever you create a contact, so here we have one of the field called account name. So each and every contact, each and every child has to be linked to the parent, right? So now here we are creating a contact which is a child. So that child, that contact has to be linked to this Technosoft private limited. So let's go back to the page, account page. This is my account record, Technosoft private limited. Scroll down and click on the new contact. So click on the new contact button, and now we got this page, which is a contact page, contact form. And now here for the contact, we have a different set of fields, different set of details. Home, home phone number, mobile number, other phone number, email ID, title of the person, department, birth date, and languages, level. We have different set of fields. Now we'll see. The first one, salutation. So I'll take Mr. The first name and last name. Let's suppose the first name is Steve Jones. So Steve Jones is one of the contact who is a point of contact for my company. And title, let's suppose he's the CEO of the company. And department, operations, he belongs to operations department. And birth date, I'll take some random birth date. Okay, and reports too. Okay, and reports to. So whether if this contact is reporting to some other contact, so then we can take that particular contact is as a manager. Now the CEO is the highest role in the company. The next contact, whatever the contact that we create, we will take that contact as a sub role to this manager role. Okay, and next some phone numbers. I'll just copy paste the phone numbers and email ID. Some steve.jones@gmail.com. If this contact has any assistant, yes, let's suppose Mary, and Mary's phone number, some random number. And now scrolling down, so we have the mailing address. So copy, if you want to copy mailing to other address, so click on this link. So where automatically the mailing will be copied to other address. And languages. So what are the different languages that this contact knows? If this contact knows, now let's suppose he knows only Chinese, only Chinese. So whenever I'm trying to contact this person, I should have known Chinese language, right? That is why, so whenever you're creating a point of contact, you also have to make sure what is in which language he is expert in. Because if you're doing the business across the globe, we'll be having the customers across the globe. We'll be having the customers in Chinese, Japanese, French, German, Spanish, and different languages. That is why here we have to properly mention in which language that he is expert. And level, so what kind of contact he is. Creating a contact under one single account, whenever you're creating n number of contacts, number of contacts, one contact will always be a primary contact. One particular contact will always be a primary contact. Definitely there should be a one primary contact. Rest of all other contacts should be the secondary contacts. Okay, so why we have the primary and secondary concept here? So whenever if you want to communicate to this contact, always have to see for the primary contact. Okay, always have to communicate with the primary contact first. If in case the primary contact is not available, or maybe if the primary contact went on leave, or some sick leave or whatever it is, then we can communicate with any of the secondary contacts. Okay, so now I'll create it as a primary contact. Some description. So Steve is a primary contact, primary point of contact, and he is expert in English. And he works during PST times. Okay, so where you can describe more about the contact. So click on the save. So now the moment we click on the save, now it took me to the contacts page. Now this is my contact. Okay, and this is my contact details. So now on the contact, each and every contact, it is a link. It is linked to the parent account record, which is called Technosoft Private. And now this account is a hyperlink. If you click on this hyperlink, which is an account, it will take you to the account page. Now scroll down where you can see one of the contact. So now we'll create another contact. Click on new contact. Now let's suppose Mr. Chandra M, who is a COO. So now this Chandra, who is a Chief Operations Officer, okay, so he reports to the previous contact who we had created. Okay, so search for the contact, and this is your Steve Jones. Now what it is doing here, this contact is searching, it is looking up into all the existing contacts. So which means, like how the account is having the self relationship, contacts is also having the self relationship. One contact can look up into n number of other contacts. So now Chandra's boss, Chandra's manager is Steve Jones. He reports to Steve Jones. Department operations. So I'll skip all the different fields. Okay, and he is a secondary point of contact. He is not a primary, but he is a secondary point of contact. Okay, so now click on the save. Click on the save button, and this is your second contact. Click on your account. Go to your account. Now under this customer, we have two contacts. One is the CEO, one is the CEO. So whenever you want to communicate with these contacts, here we have the email ID, here we have the phone number. So we can communicate either through phone numbers or email IDs. Okay. So now I'll quickly create two more contacts. Let's suppose the first one is Ram, who is a sales manager. The department is sales. Okay. Click on save. And I'll create one more contact, the last contact. Okay, let's suppose the contact name is Rahul, yes, who is also a sales manager. Okay, click on save. Okay, so now here you can see there are two different contacts with the sales managers, right? So now here comes the concept of merge contacts. Like how we have the merge accounts, we have the merge contacts. And when we do the merge contacts and why we do the merge contacts, now we'll see. So now let's suppose Rahul is one of the sales manager. Rahul is one of the sales manager with whom we have been doing the business from past n number of years. Okay, so every time that we communicate, and we always, let's suppose we always been communicating with this Rahul, who is a sales manager. So every time you communicate, so every time I communicate with this sales manager, okay, I should create an activity. So what is activity? How to create activity? This is in our next class. So, but we actually have to create an activity. Activity means how you are communicating, what you are communicating, when you are communicating, and whether the communication is successful or not successful. Okay. So now if you are my sales manager, so now I let's suppose I called you. So what is an activity here which I done? So which is a phone call. So through the phone call, we have exchanged the deliverables. So we have exchanged the requirements and we have completed that activity. Like the same way, so whenever there is some communication is happening between my company to the customer company, so between my sales managers to the customer sales managers, okay, there should be some activity which has to be recorded every time that we communicate. Every time that we communicate, there has to be activity which has to be recorded. Now let's suppose under Rahul there are some 100 activities, 100 different types of events or tasks which you have done for the Rahul. Now, so now Rahul is resigning the company. So now today is the last working day. Now Ram is replacing Rahul. Okay, that is how it works in the real time. So when you take an example of any IT company, okay. So now let's suppose you have resigned to the company. Let's suppose I have resigned to the company. So when I resigned and if you are replacing in my position, so before I leave the company, what is my responsibility? I should give the knowledge transfer to you. I should give the complete knowledge transfer to you regarding the application, and only then I have to leave the company. So that the same happens in your Salesforce also. Whatever the activities that we had completed for Rahul, all those activities we have to transfer it to the Ram. Transferring the activities, it could be completed activities, or it could be ongoing activities, or it could be the future activities. So whatever activities that are there on the Rahul, so it has to be transferred to the newly joined sales manager. So how to transfer it? By the concept called merge contacts. So earlier we have seen the merge accounts, so where we can merge the accounts which is having the similar name. But coming to the merge contacts, there is no need of having the similar name. So you always have to merge. So you just have to check if any person is resigning, if there is some other person who is replacing, so then you have to merge the both the contacts. The same concepts again. Click on the merge contacts. Click on the merge contacts, and here there are 4 different contacts. I want to merge Rahul and Ram. Select those 2 contacts. Click on next. Again the same concept. Whether you want to merge the first into the second or second into the first. Whatever that you want, just select it and click on merge. So during the time of merge, if this contact, if the Rahul, if this person, if there are any activities, all those activities will be transferred to the newly creating contact. Okay, click on merge and okay. And the merging is completed, and if there are any activities which is on the name of previous contact, all those activities now will be transferred to the new contact. That is how it works in the real time. And this is the concept of your creation of the contacts and merge contacts. And again, even for the contacts also, we have the concept called types of pages, where we have the edit page. If you click on edit, it will take you to the edit page, and if you open a record, it will, this is your detail page. And if you click on the contacts, click on the contacts, so where this is called your list view page. From the contacts also, click on the new button, where you can create a new contact. But always you will go to the account record. From the account record, you will create the contact. And even for the contact record also, there is a concept called record ID. For every record, account or contact or opportunity, you will be getting the record ID. And here also you can see the delete button. If you want, you can delete it. And here we have something called clone. So if you clone it, so here you can copy all the details and just modify the few records, and a new record will be created. Just click on the clone and just modify the values wherever you want to change it, and click on the save. A new record will be created after it is got cloned. Okay, any questions? No. Okay. So the last concept for today's class, we'll see opportunities. Okay, scroll down. So now we have seen the contacts. So now for this customer, for this account, Technosoft Private Limited, we have created the contacts, and now we are going to create the opportunities. Okay, so now we'll create the opportunities. And what is an opportunity? So opportunity is nothing but it is the deals that you are making between the two different companies, the products that you are selling for your customers. Okay, so where you actually track your financial information. Okay, so click on the new opportunity. So now under this customer record, under this account record, scroll down. So where you can see the new opportunity, click on the new opportunity. And now here we have only few fields, but when you go to the real time, you will see n number of fields. And now here we'll discuss the important fields. The first one, private. So what is a private means? So private means it is like confidential. So whenever you create a record, and here you can see the owner of the record is myself. And if you make the private as true, then this particular record, whatever the record that I'm going to create, it is going to be visible only to the owner of the record. So which means this is a private record. So we are not making this record disclosed to anybody else in the system. We are not disclosing this record details to any other sales users, to any other service or marketing users within the instance. The moment you mark it as a private, so it is a private record, which means it is visible only to the owner of the record. Okay, and let's give some opportunity name. Now let's suppose here we are making an opportunity on laptops of the series 5151 N series. Okay, so now we are making a deal for this opportunity, and worth of, which is amount, worth of $10,000. Okay, now so here we have something called close date and stage and probability. So now we'll understand this close date, stage and probability with an example called SDLC. Okay, so what is SDLC? So SDLC in the IT sector, software development life cycle, right? So whenever if you want to develop any software, or if you get any project in the real time, so what are the different steps which will be involved? The first step, the first phase is the requirements, where you get the requirements, and based on the requirements you will analyze the requirement, and from the analysis you will do the design part, and once the design part is completed, you will start build. So you will start the building, which is called implementation. Once the building is completed, the UAT users, they will do the testing part, and once the testing is successful, you will deploy the changes, which is called migration. And once the migration is completed, you will do the support, ongoing support. So this is the life cycle. This is a step-by-step process. Whenever you get any new project, it should start with requirements, only then it go to the analysis and design, build, testing, like this. I can't directly start from design, go back to requirements, and again come back to migration, again go back to design. That is not the proper way. There is a step-by-step process for the life cycle of a software development. Like the same way, whenever you are doing some deals, there is something called a stage. The entire sales process lies under these particular stages. And these stage values differs from company to company, requirement to requirement, client to client, and project to project. And currently here you can see there are different types of stages starting from prospecting, qualification, where it requires some analysis, where it has to involve some decision makers, proposal slash price quotation. So where we have to release some quotation for the price, and negotiation. They might come up with some negotiation, and finally closed one or closed. Okay, so these stages will differ from project to project, like I said. Now let's suppose I am a part of the salesperson under the ABCD company, and now the Technosoft Private Limited, which is a customer company. So now they come up with a deal to do a deal of $10,000. Okay, so where they want to purchase the laptops, which is some N series laptops. So now I am just a salesperson. I do not have the rights to sell the products to the customers. So what I have to do? The first step is I will get a request from the customer. So once I get a request, I have to go through the entire request, and I have to analyze the request. And once I do analysis, I have to send the request to my higher officials. And once I send a request to higher officials, they will look into that, and they will come up with a some quotation, some price. And before to that, I need to send an approval to my higher up managers. So once they provided an approval, then only they will come up with a price quotation for the products, number of products. Once they release the quotation, then I need to send the quotation to the customer. And once they look into the quotation, they might come up with a negotiation where they might ask for some discount. And again, if they ask for some discount or negotiation, then again I need to send out to my higher managers. Based on the negotiation, again they will release a new quotation, and again a new quotation I need to send to the customer, and customer is okay, and if my company is okay, and finally they will release the money, they will release the fund, and we have to release the products. So there is a such lengthy process in the B2B model, business to business model. See, from the time they place a request till the time they get the products, there are so many stages involved. There are so many stages involved. And if everything goes smooth, and finally the stages will reach to the closed one. This particular opportunity is closed with a successfully. It is a one day. And if something happens during the quotations or during the negotiations or during the request, if something happens or if they are not interested, then it will go to the closed lost. Okay, so now we have something called close date. Now let's suppose today we got a request to sell 10,000 products worth of 10,000 plus. So like I told you, there are so many stages involved while doing a deal. Now today we have a request. So based on these stages and based on the amount and based on number of products they require, so I am planning to close this deal by, let's suppose, 31st. So 31st will be my close date. So what is the close date means? On or before 31st, I need to progress all these stages and I have to take it to the closed one or closed lost by on or before 31st. This is something where I'm keeping a deadline for myself. By the within the next 1 week, I need to close this deal successfully or lost. Okay, so that was something I did. Next, probability. Again, I'll go back to this example, SDLC example. So whenever you have this SDLC process, for each and every step, we can define the probability. Probability means how much project is completed. if I get requirements, I can say 10% is completed. If I start designing part, let's suppose 40% of the project is completed. If it is a building is completed, implementation, I can 65% of the project is completed. If it is testing, 80% of the project is completed. Migration, let's suppose 95%, and support, 100% of the project is completed. So where we are defining the probability based on the stages. Like the same way, whenever you change the stage here, automatically the probability will also change accordingly. Prospecting 10%, analysis 20, let's suppose decision makers 60, price quotation, so which means whenever we release a price quotation for the price, 75% is completed. And if you get a negotiation, 90%. And finally closed one, 100%. And if it is a close loss, 0%. Are you following?
Pradeep, I have a doubt.
Yes.
In real time, who enters these values? Like a sales guy who is in front end or an administrator?
The salesperson will be getting an access to the Salesforce. So the Salesforce will be including of your administrators, developers, supporters, sales persons, marketing persons, service persons, so many users.
So for him also the screen looks like the same.
Same, looks like the same. That is what I told you in the very first class. For the first 5 to 6 classes, we will understand the Salesforce terminologies and everything as a business user. It could be sales or service or marketing. So now we are going to see how the salespersons we will create the opportunities and all these things.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just give some order number. If you have generated any order number or tracking number of the product, I'll just give something. So I'll just copy paste to the description. Now let's suppose current stage is prospecting. Click on the save. Okay. So now every time you progress the stage values will be updated on the top of your page. Now we'll see. Now I'll change the stage from prospecting to, let's suppose, value proportion, which is a 50%. Click on OK, save this, and here you can see Pradeep has changed the stage from prospecting to value proportion. And again, next value. Let's suppose price quotation, which is a 75%. Save this, and again one more. Now it has been progressed to the price quotation. And next one, negotiation / review, which is 90%. Save this. Okay, and finally closed one, just before 100%. Now we are under the 90%. But here you can clearly see. So when have you planned to close this entire deal? On or before 31st. But today itself we are closing the deal. So whenever you change the stage to the closed one, that particular date will be updated against the closed date. If I update the stage to close one today's date, the today's date will be updated against your closed date. Okay, now we'll see. Change the stage from negotiation to closed one. Click on OK. Now save this. The close date will get updated from 31st to 24th of January. Click on save, and here you can see close date has been updated to 24th. And here you can see Pradeep has closed this opportunity as successfully closed one, which means the close date has also been updated from 31st to 24th. Okay, and this is the probability is 100%. So where we have started the amount with $10,000, and finally out of this the expected revenue will be $10,000. And now if I go to this account, click on your account, and here you can see the opportunity has closed. Now the same customer, maybe in the next quarter or maybe after some period of time, again they'll come up, and now this time they'll ask us to release few more products. Now what we have to do, we have to create another opportunity. Okay, so in the next class we'll create another opportunity and we'll take it to the closed loss. and we'll see what will happen if we change it to the closed fields. Any questions?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Pradeep, I have few questions. Like first one is you are opening the accounts tab and all with some shortcut to a new tab, right? To a
Yes.
new window. How you are doing that?
And I'm just doing shortcuts from my keyboard. I
Keyboard.
just
Okay.
I'm just pressing the control from my
Mm-hmm.
keyboard and click on the particular tab. It will open
Mm-hmm.
up in a new tab. Or else
Okay.
on your mouse you'll be having a what do you call that wheel, scroll bar, something kind of thing. So if you click on that, but from your mouse, it will also
Mm-hmm.
open up in a new tab.
Okay. The second question is like we had seen a concept called merging an accounts, right? You said one example like a duplicate account names, we can merge the accounts,
Yes.
right? Is there any other needs of merging the accounts?
No. So like I said, so you have to merge only if there is a similar name in it, and if there is no any similar name in it, then definitely you can't merge it. And
Okay.
so always you have to merge it. So whenever if there is duplicate records, if it is created by mistakenly, rather than maintaining two different records, okay, we always have to maintain one single record in the real time. Because of this is called your global search. So on the topmost here we call it as a search. So this is actually called a global search. So whenever if I search for let's suppose Capgemini, so Capgemini is my customer. So whenever I click on the search, here I am getting two records. So should I go with the first record or should I go with the second record?
Okay.
I don't know. So that is why you always have to maintain one single record, not duplicate records.
Okay. One more thing, like we have standard list view page, right, for an account or
Yes.
contact. When
Yes.
we create an account or when we create a contact, right? The fields which we are seeing, we can edit those standard list views also.
Yes, we can do that. I'll go to all accounts. This is all accounts with standard list view, and here you can see the edit button. And you can
Oh,
click on edit. And if you want to change any conditions or if you want to add any new fields, you can add it.
okay. One more thing, like we had discussed about opportunities, right? Like we work with different currencies, right? While there is a field called amount in an opportunity um, object. If
I'm
you are
not able
dealing
to.
with a different currency for the amount, how you said we with our personal settings, right?
Yes. Yes. So that is a very good question. So if you go to your personal settings, so now currently you cannot see the currency field. Okay. So because so once you go to the real time, so only in your professional or enterprise or unlimited editions, so we have one of the feature called multi currency, which you can enable only in your professional, enterprise, or unlimited editions, but not in your developer editions. So once you enable this, then all the currencies across the globe will be enabled for your Salesforce instance. Then I can go to my particular settings. Then I can select my own currency based on the country I'm living in. If it is India, I can select INR. Then whenever I give some amount here, the moment I click on the save, it will be automatically shown in the INR value.
Means every time if we are dealing with a different country currency, we have to change the settings and we have to enter the amount, right?
No, 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 not like that. So now let's suppose there is a company which is across the globe, any appliances company. Let's suppose LG. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
LG is across the globe. So now LG has a customers and across the globe as well. So for each and every territory, for each and every geographical location, they will be having their own sales users. For India, they'll be having sales users. For USA, UK, they have their own sales users. So now when coming to the India, so whenever the salesperson sells the products, okay, now that particular customer is a part of that particular India salesperson. So he will be creating a record, and his currency will be set to INR. And whenever he create a record, it will by default will change to INR only. And if there is salesperson in UK who sells the product of to the customers in UK, the moment he saves the record, automatically be defaulted to UK pounds.
Okay.
Okay, that is something once you enable the multi-currency, and if you go to the my settings, each and every salesperson, based on the territories, based on geographical locations, they have to select their own currencies. If you're
Okay.
part of India, then you have to take care of only the Indian customer. You are not allowed to take outside of the Indian customers, because if you take care of outside of the Indian customers, you don't know their maybe let's take China. You don't know their language, you don't know their address, you don't know how to handle, and you don't know the Chinese currency, you don't know the conversion rate. There are so many issues which comes into picture, right? And if you are a salesperson who belongs to India, take care of only the Indian customers. That is how we do it in India.
Okay. One more question, like we had stages, right? When we start a project, like stages, they will provide some documentation regarding that, or
Yes,
how?
they do.
Okay.
So each and every requirements documents or company, they have to explain what is the stage, what is the functionality for every stage. Because whenever you sell a product to the customers, the way the sales process differs from company to company, company to company. Each and every company will not follow the same process. So when they have their own sales process, they will be having their own stages also. Maybe
Okay.
some companies they might take the managed approval, or some companies they no need to take the managed approval. Some companies will directly release the quotation; they will not encourage for the negotiations. Some companies they might also encourage the negotiations. So these stage values will completely differ. But closed one and closed lost, this is something which will be available for all the products.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So, any more questions?
No, I am good.
Vidya, Banu?
No, Pradeep.
Thanks, guys. So it's too late for me. So we'll wrap up the class here, and we'll join back tomorrow at the same time. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.